My name is Jamie Dorley. I come to you with 25 years of experience. It's my 25th anniversary. So I know you're thinking, wow, he looks very young to have 25 years of experience. I agree. Thank you. So I help out at the Wine and Wellness Center. I do nutritional consults on every Monday. So if you need help and you have any health issue going on, maybe you have diabetes or high blood pressure, joint pain, whatever it may be, or maybe you want a nutritional review where you don't have anything really going on, you just want somebody to give you a direction to go in and set you up on a plan. It's like when I used to work as a personal trainer, I ask everybody, are you on a training program or are you just working out? So here I ask, are you on a lifestyle wellness program or are you just taking vitamins? So the difference is we want to evaluate, support, and provide solutions for you based on what your goals are and what your situation is. Okay? In addition, I help run the Wine and Wellness Weeks. Anyone been here before to the Wellness Week? Okay. First one?
I'm a patient here, but it's my first.
All right, well, welcome. Anyone else been here for the first time? No? First Wellness Week? Yes, okay. All right, so the goal of the...
I had a question. And now, is it free for the review?
If you set up a time, during the Wellness Week, it's free. If you set up an appointment with me, we do charge for appointments, just like any other doctor's office. Yep. But during the Wellness Week, everything's free. Okay?
How much you charge?
How much do I charge? Generally $75 for the first visit.
Okay.
And you get between 45 minutes to an hour. And then follow-up visits are usually $50.
So
Okay?
it's free this week, huh? I mean, today.
It's free all week, yeah. But if you need an hour of time to sit down, then yeah, you do get charged as an appointment. Okay. So the goal is to meet with you a few times, not once, not 100. Right. A lot of offices may want you to meet 12, 15, 20, 30 times. We don't do that here. I'm going to meet with you between 1 and 5 times. Either you're getting fantastic results and you just go on your own, or you're not following the program, you don't want to come back. So the goal is to get you healthy and then what? Keep you healthy, right? So our program is, if you're healthy, all you gotta do is come to the Wellness Weeks. If you're not, set up a time to meet. We'll get you healthy. We're gonna do 3 phases of our program. One is a cleansing program. We're gonna clean up your diet and clean up your products and everything that's going on. Number 2 is we're gonna use targeted nutrition. So if you have osteoarthritis, we're gonna do things for your knees. And then phase 3 is wellness maintenance. Once you're healthy, all you gotta do is come to the Wellness Weeks. We do over 35 workshops this week. We do product demonstrations every day of a value of $199. They are free. We give you free literature. We have samples back there, including a super shake. Did everyone get their smoothie today? No? You got one? Which one did you
I
try?
haven't got one yet, but
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get one.
We need to maybe get Candace to do some samples out here, but right around the corner, directly back here, will be our kitchen and our smoothie area. You get free smoothie samples today. In addition, we have healthcare professionals to answer any of your questions. Everything's free. Now, if you want to buy anything, it's on tremendously deep discounts throughout the entire week. So the goal is to have you come, get you healthy, come to the Wellness Week, and then get you enough product that will cover you to the next Wellness Week. Pretty good deal, right? So all you guys need to do is what?
Sit here and listen to you.
Come. You need to show up. Show up and then bring one of your friends like she brought you, right? Yes? Oh, it's your fault. Okay. I got to find somebody to blame here. And bring your friends, right?
I got a new friend.
A new one. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
us too on Saturday.
I was a little worried about your other friends, so.
Yeah.
Does she get perks for bringing people?
Perks? Yeah. She gets to listen to me for 45 minutes. It doesn't get much better than that. All right, so what I want to do is help you guys sift through a very sometimes confusing, sometimes overwhelming, sometimes misleading topic, which is essential fatty acids. Fats is a 4-letter word, but it's a good 4-letter word, okay? Because we need fats in our diet, but what happened in the 80s, we went on this low-fat diet craze. And what happened? What happened when we cut the fats out of our diet? We got really fat, didn't we? As a nation, we doubled in size. Why is that? When they take the fat out of food, what do they put in it? Sugar. What else? Salt and artificial flavorings, right? So we thought fat was the culprit because the idea is if we don't give the body fat, we can burn fat, right? Almost true. So the idea is eat a lower fat diet, but you still need essential fats in the diet. You ever heard of the Zone diet? Like Dr. Barry Sears? The Zone. We've all heard of the Zone, right? How much fat does that diet incorporate? 30%. It's 40, 30, 30. Yeah. So about a third of your food would be fat. But you get fat in, if you eat any meat or chicken, you get fat in, what else? Fish, nuts, seeds. Then you get all your oils. Olive oil, coconut oil, right? Safflower oil, flaxseed oil. So a lot of ways we can get fats in the diet. Nuts, nut butters, avocados. So a lot of ways we get fats in the diet. If you don't give the body any good fats, it creates a problem, right? We need essential fats. What do we need fats for? All types of different things that we're going to show you. You need some? So today the goal is to show you and educate you about essential fats, why we need them, and then most importantly for you, what is the best one to eat and to take as a supplement, okay? So the great thing about the essential fats is they support every organ system, right? So help with neurological. You ever hear of fish oils for brain function? Okay, we all heard that, right? Depression, mood. What about fish oil for structure? Like for your hair, your joints, your skin, right? Nails, we've heard that before. We also helps with your endocrine, your hormonal system. Heart, of course, right? To the point now, who's recommending fish oils? The medical doctors, right? Now it's tremendously overpriced at $200 a month, but they are at least recommending, called Lavazza, because it helps a lot with cardiovascular health. And then the immune system, inflammation, it helps with, because fish oils and essential fats are an anti-inflammatory. You ever think about how this one thing can help out all of these areas of the body? If you learn anything, learn this today. All your cells are made of fat, and when you incorporate good fats, the cells are healthy and robust like a grape. Okay, you with me? And it's easy now to get nutrients in and waste products out, so the cells work very well. What happens when you eat a lot of bad fats, like all these restaurants down the road? Got the hot dog shop, Sunoco, Taco Bell, McDonald's, right? When you eat bad fats, trans fats, processed fats, your cells that used to look like a grape get hard, sticky, and shrink, and they dehydrate, and they look like a raisin. Now it's very difficult to get nutrients in the cells and outside the cells. Make sense? So we want our cells to look more like grapes, really hydrated, really healthy, really strong. And a simple way of doing that, and I'm going to show you how, is with essential fats. Plus, if you look at the neurological one, this one's always interesting to me because your brain is made of fat. It's over 60% fat. And of that fat, it's called DHA. It's a component of fish oil, is what the brain is made of. Everybody remember the one mining accident that happened in West Virginia? I mean, there's been multiple, but there was one really big one. The one guy came out of there, I think his last name was McCoy. And when he came out, he had brain damage, he had heart damage and liver damage because of oxygen deprivation, right? And they said you can never restore brain function. So what happened with him? Does anybody remember the story what happened? He made a full recovery. How much was he using a day? 25,000 fish oil. 25,000 a day. Now, he needed extreme intervention because the guy had lost function. And not only that, his brain restored full function, which they said was impossible. So really interesting. When you give the body what it needs, sometimes you need tremendous amounts. You'll get the results depending on what the challenge is. So here's what we're talking about, inflammation, right? You guys have heard of inflammation before? Now, you can have inflammation when you slam your finger in the door or twist your knee, but you can also have low-grade chronic silent inflammation. You may not even be aware you have it. So about 75% of Americans have it. It's the underlying causes of heart disease, cardiovascular disease. Heart disease is still the #1 killer in the U.S. in spite of all the medications, in spite of all the surgeries, bypasses, stents. It's still the #1 killer in the U.S. I think sometimes we forget about it because it's not the new sexy topic of the month like autism, but it's still the #1 killer in the U.S. So one thing is to change your diet. So the first solution is to increase, what's EPA and DHA? What's that mean? What is that? EPA, DHA. It's the active components of fish oil. So anyone take omega-3D? Okay, so when you look on the bottle, it says EPA and DHA. This is triple strength. This is 3 times more than what you would find normally in fish. Plus the D is vitamin D. We added vitamin D to it. So depending on how many of these you're taking a day and how many vitamin D you're taking, you may be able to either reduce the vitamin D or eliminate it because it's in the fish oil. We can show you a little bit how to customize that. So we also want to decrease some of the pro-inflammatory foods and replace that with the fish oil. So what are foods that increase inflammation? Sugar? Sugar again. It's like he said it, you said it, right? What else? Dairy products? Yep. Salt? It has effects, but not really in pro-inflammatory. I'm talking about foods in general. Bad fats, animal fats, right? These all increase inflammation in the body. So the diet should really be about an average of 1 to 1. Okay? What's happened is now people eat too much fast food, too many animal fats. Some people it's 25 to 1, some it's 50 or 100 to 1. So it's really affected our society with these pro-inflammatory foods. So the omega-3s are actually anti-inflammatory. They'll replace or displace the pro-inflammatory fats. They're also going to help provide some of the anti-inflammatory substances. So if you look at it in the body, you have inflammation and you have anti-inflammation, anti-inflammatory. The fish oil or essential fats are good for balancing inflammation throughout the body. Were anyone take X-Flame before? No? Yeah. Okay, Inflam or X-Flame, those are more specific, trying to hit inflammation in certain areas, specifically joints. Okay? So what's really cool is here's a cell. Remember I said the cell is made up of what? What's in your cell? Fats. Right? And when you have the good fats, it looks like a what?
Great.
And when you have the bad fats, it looks like a what?
Great.
There we go. Okay, now we're listening. Okay? So you can, when you get your cells about 10% fish oil, you don't have to worry about the number. Just know that if you take at least 2 of these a day, in 4 months you can change the oil in your body. That's all it takes, 3 to 4 months. 2 a day for 4 months. Now you've changed from the raisin to the grape. Okay? And here's how we do it. You can have inflammation signaling. All the fish oil is going to be there that helps reduce that inflammation. And it displaces, remember I said, it takes the place of the bad fats. Okay? So, this is a landmark study back in 1995. What's JAMA? Anyone know what JAMA is?
Journal of the American Medical Association.
There we go, you win. Okay? First question he got. So, the Journal of American Medical Association. So, who's supposed to read JAMA? Yeah, doctors, researchers, pharmacists, chemists, nutritionists, people that are interested in the research behind it. So this was a study looking at fatty acids and the risk of cardiac arrest. What's that? Yeah, you're going to cardiac arrest, right. And look at this, folks. This is the key right here. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you learn anything today, learn this. So here's your odds of cardiac arrest, right? And here's the amount of omegas in your cells, right? And I said you got to get about 10%. How do you get to 10%? 2 omega-3D for 4 months. When you get that index to 10%, how much do you reduce your risk of having a heart attack? 90%. This should be on the Today Show, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Google. This should be everywhere. Everywhere. Because you want to reduce your risk of having a heart attack, the best way to do it is by getting your omega-3 index up. And the nice thing with our triple strength is you can do that in 2 a day. I really like 3 to 4 for most people because our diets, even if you eat well, we're still getting these pro-inflammatory foods. But at least 2 a day. Sometimes we go 3 or 4. If you have some severe inflammatory issues, we may go up to 6 a day. And remember, the guy in the mine did how many a day? 25 a day. Okay?
5,000.
Right. So it's about 30 of those capsules a day. So if you look at research, we're looking at the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. It used to be about 1 to 1. In the cultures you have 1 to 1, they have little or no of the heart disease that we see in the U.S. So especially the Asian cultures. Yes, sir.
Taking mega doses like that give you severe diarrhea?
It could. I'm not sure. I'd have to look to see if that guy had that. Fish oil is generally, we're not looking to go to 25 or 30 a day. We like 2 to 4 a day would be great. I took 4 last night with dinner. I didn't have any diarrhea. Yes.
Question, so do you use Explain with this? But if you take this, do you need the Explain?
For what?
Well, ankle joints.
Yeah.
inflammation.
You may need it. The X-Flame, the fish oil, and the HA Plus all work together as part of our joint solutions. Yes. So if you have that, you can still utilize this with the X-Flame and the HA Plus.
You took one, which would be
For what?
for inflammation.
For an ankle or something like that?
No, just general body
General body, omega-3D.
rather than the Explain.
Yes. Yeah. You can't lose with either one, but this is going to balance you from head to toe. Okay? And it's food-based. So I always go with the food-based supplement first. Like the colors, you guys try the greens, reds, oranges, and purples. Those are all fruit and veggie-based. This is fish-based. So I always go with the food-based supplements first, and I put that as part of my budget on the groceries. So if you guys have a budget at home, you should. This would go on the groceries. Okay? So what's happened is that we've have far too much omega-6s, and those are animal fats, processed fats, you know, the candy apples, the fried foods, the fast foods, the processed foods. And if you don't eat those things, that's great. You may still be eating too much animal fats. So it's a process. You can slowly, you know, work on these things. And over time, you can have dramatic effects on the body. So the Standard American Diet, actually, the acronym is SAD, right? Standard American Diet, because the diet is sad, right? It's sad. It's really embarrassing that a country that's so smart eats so poorly. And people that I talk to generally, not always, but a good portion of people I work with and talk to feel like they're being punished when we tell them to eat well. You know, it's like a kid's reaction. You know, they're being punished. But it's up to you. Our job is to help inform you and educate you. Then you make an informed and empowered decision. It still may be the wrong decision, but we want you to make those decisions. So the problem is that the way the food has been produced in the U.S. has changed more in the last 50 years than it did the previous 2 to 10,000 years. Anyone see Food Inc.? Right? Food Inc., Super Size Me, Forks Over Knives. The new one is called Fed Up. that Katie Kirk hosts. So the problem is that the way the food has been produced has changed. And what they say in Food Inc., when they were looking at both sides of both parties, and the guy says, look, I'm not here raising chickens. I'm here raising food. He said, when you feed 300 million people and make it affordable, my job is complete. So I understand where he's coming from. However, we got to look at getting better food sources, because a lot of the food now is really a result of what McDonald's orders, because they are the biggest purchaser of food in the country. So they dictate to the vendors, hey, we want a better price on this, or we want more fat in that product, whatever it may be. Okay, so some of the terms you'll hear in the field is pharmaceutical grade. What does that mean?
Made under like laboratory conditions.
Ooh, laboratory conditions. What is that? Sounds really good, right?
Yeah, it does, but it's just made to a higher standard.
Okay. Higher standard. Anybody else?
Like your prescription drugs.
Right, sounds like a prescription. Right. Okay, ultra pure, ultra refined. What do those mean? Ultra pure. It's not pure, ultra pure.
They've removed all the impurities, supposedly.
Yeah, these are just marketing terms. There's no basis.
good.
Yeah, and it's okay. We may use some of them. There's no basis behind them that they mean anything other than what the person's telling you. Okay? So, one thing with our oils is that we produce them from mostly anchovies and sardines. We use some tuna now, but mostly anchovies and sardines. We go through the IFOS, which is International Fish Oil Standard. What's the fish oil standard in the U.S. called? Nothing. We don't have one. So we use an international fish oil. Okay. So that's the standard we're using because it does not exist in the U.S. So one thing is that you have the quality of the raw oil. We're going to remove heavy metals. So there's about 6 steps to this process. Esterification, molecular distillation, urea inclusion, refrigeration, and then another molecular distillation. So we do 6 steps of purifying the oil because they've gone 200 miles off the coast and gone down 200 feet, and they still find a lot of contamination. So it's become ubiquitous with our planet, right? Even look at things like arsenic. It's in the vegetables. Why? Because it's in the soil. It's in the air. So, regardless of where you get it from, it's going to have some of these things in there. So it's not necessary that you remember all these or memorize these. Just realize that we are doing our due diligence, like some of the other great companies out there. So when you buy from Nutritional Frontiers, it's gone through all the different steps to purify the oil. Here's one of our original lab assays. So this goes all the way back to 2011. So we want to show you that we have a history of doing these. And we do third-party analysis on the oils. What does that mean?
An independent review of the.
Good. Yeah, independent review. Why is that important?
They're not biased.
Right. So if she makes the oil for us, right, and we distribute the oil, we're biased, right?
Correct.
So if she's telling me it tests well and I'm telling you it tests well, that's because we distribute it, right? But if he's testing it and he's third party, he gets paid to do what?
To actually test it.
To test, not pass or fail. He doesn't care. He's just going to test it and he get paid either way. Doesn't matter if it's good or not, okay? Where her and I, there could be some bias in that. So independent third-party analysis means that the third party that's testing it only gets paid to test. They don't have any stake in the game if it passes or fails. Make sense? So we tested for what here? One we did is we tested for label claim. So on the vitamin D, the label says 500, and how much was in there? 810. It's a lot overage, right? So we'll have a little bit of overage in these ingredients. You look at the fish oil. What did I tell you EPA and DHA was? What are those two ingredients? The active components of fish oil, right? So if you see Omega 1000 at Sam's Club, what does that mean? It means it has 1,000 milligrams of oil in there. Does not tell us EPA and DHA. You got to spin the bottle around, okay? Most fish oils per 1,000 are going to be 180 and 120 EPA, DHA, because that's what you find normally in nature in fish. So if you have a gram of fish, you're going to get about 180 and 120, about 30% of that's going to be the active good component of the oil. So we don't want 30% in ours. We want, okay, no, we're still good. I don't know what that was, but you know, we're looking at 450 and 330. That's what, 780, but it's testing out at 512 and 420, 932. So we're looking at over 80% versus the 30. That's why I said earlier, it's a triple strength. Okay, we're looking at 80, 90% of the active ingredients. So you're starting to look like this is getting too technical. So let's make this really simple, okay? This is a third-party test that's showing that the label is correct. So we have the minimal that you need in the label. So it matches up, right? So what's on the label and in the bottle is the same. Second thing, microbiology. What is that? Bad bugs, right? Salmonella, E. coli, right? Bacteria. And everything compiled with the results. Heavy metals, arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium. These are all the amount, the standard, and we've met the standards. And then we look at peroxidase values, disintegration, all those things. So we met all these. This goes way back, like I said, to 2011. Here's a newer one, 2014. And again, this is 2 soft gels we tested, and we saw similar results, right? Results on the D3 are 330 above, and you get the idea, right? Microbiology, heavy metals. So you guys get the idea. Our fish oil is very clean, okay? So it's very important because you don't want to add contamination to your body. You don't want to take a lot of oil with a low concentration either, okay? Because you're getting more contamination in there. In addition, you don't want to have to take 12 to 15 soft gels a day to get the amount you need. On ours, how many you need on Omega 3D?
2.
Minimum of 2, right? You could go up to 4 or 6, right? And you can take these all at once. Same with vitamin D. Because it's a fat, so it's going to take longer to break down in the body. So you don't got to divide them up throughout the day, even though some people will do that. Okay, so follow me now. This is vitamin D. Okay, so we talked a little bit about fish oil and the benefits. What are the benefits of vitamin D? Anyone know?
Healthy bones.
Bones, and what was the other one? A B word. Brain. You're ahead of me a little bit. It's okay. So for years, vitamin D was recommended for healthy bones and for brain. So depression, mood, things like that. Lo and behold, a few years ago, they found what? Right, your immune system has all these receptor sites on it for vitamin D. So what does a receptor site mean? It's a part on the outside of the cell, like a parking spot, that things come along like vitamin D, attach to the cell, and tell the cells to do things. Like what? Turn the immune system on. Activate. Okay? Follow me, because there's some key things here. If your vitamin D level is below 25, you don't have any immune activation from the vitamin D. So if you have it, good.
I take one capsule of vitamin D a day. If I buy that, I don't need to take that.
How much vitamin D is it? 1,000?
I really don't know.
You're getting how much per soft gel here? 500. So if you get 2 of these, you're getting 1,000. So if you
5,000 a day.
okay, hold on, we'll get to you. So if you're doing 1,000 a day, you can eliminate the vitamin D.
And just use that one.
Yeah. Okay, so he's doing 5,000 a day. So say he did 2 of these a day. Once a week, he could skip the 5,000. Make sense? Or every 5 days, you can. Yes.
What's the difference if I take a prescription
Ooh, prescription vitamin D.
50,000 units once a week.
And it's vitamin D what? 2.
Is it due?
I think, yeah, prescription vitamin D2
Take that, I take
is called ergocalciferol. Vitamin D3 is cholecalciferol. The only advantage with that is it's vegetarian. However, the vitamin D3 absorbs over 33% better than the vitamin D2.
So the prescription is vitamin D2.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
When I was first came last time, 2 months ago, I had about, it was 27 on D, and then I just had done again, it's up to 47 on the D.
Oh, it's great.
That's really good.
Which one you taking?
The D3,
Nutritional Frontiers or?
5,000.
Yeah.
That's the nutrition.
Fantastic. And so you're at 27. How long ago? Oh, only 2 months? And you do 5,000 a day?
Yeah.
And you're up to 47. Fantastic. So you led me into a good spot. Thank you. Yes, sir.
What's the highest number you should go?
Good question. Anyone know? What is the number you want? Let's start there.
That's what I'm asking you.
Well, you're asking me, there's 2 questions there. One's the highest, and what is the number you really want?
You have to ask, when you get the D3 test,
Yeah.
what is the highest number?
All right, the medical doctor is going to tell you they want you over 30, right? It's a good starting point. I like over 70 would be really good. Now, toxicity does not start to at least 100, and really when you get close to 150. I've only had one person in here with D3 over 100, 101. So what number do we want to shoot for? Yeah, 70 to 80, yeah. I'm going to show you why here in a minute. Does everyone know their numbers? You know?
79.
Fantastic. Her vitamin D level is 79. It's great. So, you guys are, now you were familiar with the numbers, right? So we don't want it too low. Ideally, I like around 70 to 100 would be perfect. 79 is fantastic. All right, so follow me here. What we have on the top is vitamin D score. So she's 79, she's off the chart. So we're going to use your number, okay? 47 is right here. So that's vitamin D level, right? And then here is diseases and prevention, okay? So when you're at 47, you're going to prevent all cancers by about 50%. Follow me? That's how you read this chart. So now breast cancer, maybe 20%. So you keep going up with your number. You know, there's a doctor, Edwin Lee. He's a endocrinologist, so a medical doctor. He did his residency at Pitt. He works out of Orlando, and he's one of our clients at Nutritional Frontiers. So I was discussing vitamin D with him. He says, look, I don't get any cancer patients that have a vitamin D level of 70 or higher. Does not exist. Why? What is vitamin D good for? Brains, bones, and immune, right? So what you're going to start seeing in the newspaper or magazines or Dr. Oz, whatever you're into watching, or even on the radio, vitamin D is not going to be so much a vitamin anymore. They call it a hormone-like substance because it has the ability to turn things on and off so well, which is great. So you guys follow me, right? So you look at all different diseases here. As your vitamin D levels go up, your prevention of these diseases goes up too. Now, it's only one variable. I doubt she could have a vitamin D level of 79 if she was extremely overweight and she smoked and she drank and all these other things, right? It's just one variable, but it's a very good variable to look at to see how healthy we are and how well is that immune system working. Make sense? Okay. It's really important. This slide is imperative to learning about vitamin D. You can learn more on that slide than 100 other slides. Now here's all the diseases associated with suboptimal vitamin D levels. What's suboptimal mean? Well, what's optimal? 70, right? 70 is optimal. So suboptimal would be less than 70, and they're probably even looking at less than 30. The problem with vitamin D is that it's become a pandemic now. The levels are dropping. Why is that? Where do we get vitamin D from? Yeah. So I love being outside. I was outside last night, the night before. It's a little cool, get a sweatshirt on. I love being outside. I love going to the beach, those type of things. Not everyone likes to go outside. Okay, so over time, from when I was a kid growing up, you weren't allowed in the house, to now people spend more time in the house. So we're not outside as much. And when we are outside, what do we put on our skin? Sunscreen, right? Once your sunscreen goes up, and it may be the next slide I'm on. Nope. Good, so I'll go off the chart. So once your sunscreen goes above 15, it blocks 99% of your vitamin D absorption. Okay? So one problem is we don't go outside enough. Problem two is you use sunscreen because we were scared to death that we're all going to die of skin cancer, which, you know, is not as common as some other cancers. Okay? So you look at it overall, there's the situation. Not enough sun, sunscreen, and then what's the third component? You got to take the vitamin D from the sun or even from food and convert it and activate it. And where do you do that? In where? What's right here? Liver. Okay. However, a lot of people have congested livers from cholesterol meds, blood pressure meds. What else? Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease from all the bad fats. So we're not converting it well either. So you're taking people that aren't in the sun, using sunscreen, and now they're poor converters. And that's what happens. Now, when we looked at just in the past 10 years alone, the average has dropped more than 10 points on vitamin D. So the average now is in the 23 to 24 range. Where we were getting good, we were getting that, you know, up to 35 or 40, but no more. But at least people are being aware of it. She's dramatically increased her numbers, and you can do it. Vitamin D1 supplemented a year, like 2 years ago, because it works on so many different things, and so many people are deficient in it. Plus, it's easy to take, it's affordable. So here's the IFOS, International Fish Oil Standard, and we got a 5 out of 5-star rating. So here's all the different criteria, which you guys saw earlier from other testing, right? So we've been consistent over time with the testing of the fish oil. Now, in addition, there's a company called Eurofins. They're one of the largest testers of everything, especially fish oil. And we asked them, what test do you have that is your gold standard for fish oil? They said, we have one, but no one ever does it because it's $3,500, right? It's expensive. Well, we said we want it just to see. So it tested over 200 different contaminants that are in the environment. Remember I said earlier, you go 200 miles off sea, 200 feet down, you find all these contaminants. The blood of a newborn fetus has over 200 different contaminants. Yes. Yep. So these are all over the planet, so we want to see if they're in the fish oil that we are promoting. And lo and behold, we did over 200 different PCBs alone. And here's all the numbers of the ingredients. And then here's the results. Again, not so much important that you know what they are, just to realize we're doing a lot of testing, especially in the fish oil, because this has the highest probability of going rancid. Anyone ever have fish oil that they burp back up? Mm-hmm. It's happened to all of us, right? Why would it do that? Yeah, the fish oil is bad. Doesn't mean it's a bad fish oil. It just means at this point in time, it's rancid. So where should you put the fish oil once you open it? Fridge. Yeah. Put mine. Possible. There's some possible issues with putting it in the freezer, so I recommend the fridge. Okay. So.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Now the omega, the fish, the vitamin D that I take, I told you, I cancel, stop taking that and start on the omega?
Yeah, did you get the vitamin D from here?
No.
Where do you get it from?
Mine came from my prescription from the drugstore.
Okay, so yeah, you can get it from here, but you may need more because that's going to give you 50,000 a week, right? So if you did these, and you could do 5,000 a day then.
And leave the other alone.
Yeah, because the prescription is vitamin D2, which does not absorb as well as the D3.
All right, I think.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Like if you forget to take your vitamin D, it's okay to double up.
Sure.
because it's fat
Yeah.
soluble.
Yeah, mine. I'll take mine 2 or 3 times a week. I don't take it every day. I'll take a handful, 3, 4, whatever, a couple times a week. And I actually looked up some data, which was really interesting. In India, they did it, and in Canada, in lieu of a flu shot, they did a vitamin D injection of 600,000 at one time. It's a lot. Yeah. So, depending on the half-life, it takes a long time to break that vitamin D down. Doesn't matter. You can take it once a week, like they are. We like to spread it out to make it a little easier for people, but you can do it all at once if you want. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have the liquids too. So you can put a liquid dropper. There's 10,000 in one dropper. So you can do that once, every couple days to do the 10,000.
Now in the winter with the not having any sun, you should bump that up.
Absolutely, I recommend 5,000 a day year round, and then in the winter double it. Yeah, and then again, you got to look at your numbers. 79 is pretty good, so you may not need that 10,000. Okay. Great questions. You guys are on top of it today. So just looking at more certificate analysis for the IFOS. And we got a 5 out of 5 star rating. So all of them listed right here for all different categories. We got 5 out of 5 stars. Again, the same things we looked at before. Label claim, PCBs, heavy metals, contamination. You guys get the idea. So vitamin D, we talked about a lot. This is what I was talking about earlier. The number of Americans with optimal blood levels defined by 70 nanograms went from 45 down to 23%. So only 1 out of 4 people have those levels, and I would think that they're probably even lower now. And then we talked about the sunscreen. So vitamin D has so many different roles in the body, but I think the biggest thing is the immune factor, the immune system. So it's become very important for people, especially with the tremendous rise of autoimmune conditions. Anyone know anyone who has an autoimmune condition? I mean, it's like running rampant now. So you guys get the idea on this, right? There's the flow chart of how they break it down. And this is just a definition. You want to look at these later, you can. I think my computer's stuck. Okay. All right. So you can also do it in a liquid, all right? So we have the soft gels and we have the liquid. The only difference is there's no soft gel in it, okay? The liquid's a nice way, especially for kids, or if you don't like to swallow a lot of pills, put it right in your smoothie. Put it in your super shake. Add it to your greens drink. Or you can do it straight. Now the taste isn't bad, but it is an oil. So I think that gets people at first because it's very thick. But it doesn't taste bad. So there's the omega-3D. Okay, so we also have some other fish. This is what I say are flagship products, right? What if you're a vegetarian? Any vegetarians in the room? No? Or you're trying to cut back on, you can do the Omega Synergy. It's also great for kids or anybody because it's a blueberry yogurt consistency. So it tastes great. And you're going to get in here omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9s. Where did you get omega-9 from? Olive oil. So this is a formulation that is vegetarian, plus to give you some of the other essential fats.
Does it have D in it?
No, no D. Okay, anyone ever take krill oil or hear about krill? Okay.
But I don't take it.
What's the difference between krill oil and fish oil? Me too. You don't know? Okay. All right, so krill and fish oil. Krill oil comes from a zoo, like plankton, so they're really small what the whales eat. So they're small already to begin with. They're very small. So they have less contamination to begin with. Because you got to think about it. Toxins or contaminants or pollutants are fat soluble. We store them in fat. So the bigger the fish, the older the fish, the fatter the fish, the more contamination. And the same for people. If you're overweight, you have more toxicity than somebody who's not. So this starts off with less contamination to begin with. And this has a 3, 6, and 9 component, like this. It also has 3 different areas in it. It has the EPA and DHA, which we talked about before, right? It also has antioxidant levels 50 times above fish oil. And have you heard of astaxanthin? Anyone heard of astaxanthin? Yes? That's what's in the krill oil. And then the third part of it is that it has a phospholipid complex, so it absorbs very well. I recommend krill for people that want a smaller capsule, have hormone imbalance, so maybe PMS and things like that, and also migraines. I recommend krill for. So 3 components of the krill. It has the EPA and DHA, it has the astaxanthin, and it has a phospholipid complex for absorption. Does that help you? Yeah? Okay. We also have flaxseed oil. Yeah, Frontier Flax. So this is organic flaxseed oil in a soft gel. I like flax for hormonal balancing. Maybe testosterone, maybe you have an issue with thyroid, whatever it may be. Plus for skin issues. This works real well for skin. If you have acne or psoriasis, eczema, whatever it may be.
Coming back to omega, if you take the pills, you say you can take at least 3 a day or something like that.
Yeah.
How much of the liquid would you take
1 teaspoon.
a day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that add up to what?
Very similar, yes. Yeah. So about 1.5 teaspoons. A half a teaspoon equals 1 soft gel. So a teaspoon is going to equal 2 soft gels, and you just go from there.
Yeah, all right, I just want to
Okay.
know that.
Yeah.
Would you take the omega with the krill?
You could. I don't think it's necessary, but maybe if you had a heart issue, you had a brain injury, more severe, you could do both together. Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend that for everybody. Yes.
I have a question. Like you say you should refrigerate it. So how long, like, if I'm on the go, like I'll take it, put it in my purse, and I don't take it till is it okay in your purse for?
Yeah, you know, again, if it's summertime and it's really hot and the purse is black and it's sitting in the back seat of the car, yeah, but you can tell because the soft gel will get real sticky. Yeah. So I'm on the road a lot, so I'll take what I need with me for a few days, and it's normally fine. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and you can tell just by looking at it if it's starting to go.
But that liquid should be in the refrigerator too?
Yeah. Any fish oil after it's open should be refrigerated, just like any probiotic should be refrigerated after opening. Okay. And to save the, I guess the best for last, right? So these are for kids. These are primary DHA. You remember I said EPA and DHA? DHA is for the brain, for the eyes, for the nervous system. And EPA is your anti-inflammatory. So think heart, right? Joints. And then there's some overlap. But this is primarily DHA plus vitamin D. And these are little burrs. So the kids chew them and they kind of explode in their mouth with the liquid. Then they'll have a little bit of the capsule left over. They can either spit it out or swallow it. Okay. So went through a lot. You guys were fantastic. Any more questions you have?
I
Yes.
just have a statement. I first got introduced to the vitamin D3, okay, to get through the winter. Because once kids start back to school, you know, I mean, and then that's when you're getting colds and flu and all that other stuff. And I started taking it, and I got through the one winter without getting sick. Then I started making my grandkids take it. And if anybody has any kids with the, you know, that start, get them on it, you know, 1,000's plenty.
On the D3? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
of the D3, yeah.
Yeah, no, they showed kids under 2 can do it.
Oh, yeah.
It cut the risk for type 1 diabetes by 80%.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
80%.
yeah.
Yeah. Vitamin D. Yeah. 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 So you can give dosages high for kids for vitamin D. What used to be the dose for vitamin D? Remember 400, right?
Yeah.
And they said that could even cause toxicity. Now they're doing 50,000. Yeah. So things change, over time. Great questions, comments, excellent.
This is what I just bought the K2 Plus, is that more absorbable? Is that the?
This is for, we mean more absorbable than what?
Joanne or Margaret Jeffrey?
This is vitamin D3.
Yeah.
Joanne
5,000?
or Margaret?
Yep. It's also vitamin A and vitamin K. So vitamin A, D, and K, what would this be good for? Bones. This thing is going to turn those bones on. Yeah. Excellent.
Hey, one more thing. You used to make Nutritional Frontiers liquid fish oil, and you stopped that now. That's a product that I really liked.
Oh, we do? No, we do have it. I didn't bring it up here, but we have it.
Nutritional Frontiers
Yeah.
liquid?
Yeah.
Oh.
We have the vegetarian, then we have the omega-3 in a liquid, which somebody had asked about, but I didn't even bring it up. Yeah, we have it.
So do you wanna take the K2 with the vitamin D? You said, I heard you say something about bones.
For bones, that's specific for bones. That's another option we have is the K2 with the D, with the vitamin A. We also have Super Cal Plus, but I don't want to get sidetracked too much. So after we're done, we can look at some options for bones. All right, folks, you were great. Doc's coming on here in a few minutes, so if you need any help, let me know, and Doc will start in about 10 minutes. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.